Hi there. So I'm going to be reading you some stories, and this is really for my grandchildren. This video is especially for my favorite granddaughter, Sydney, and my favorite oldest grandson, Emery. They call me Grandma Mary, but my other grandkids call me Nona. So that's why it's called Story Time with Nona. But anyway, today I'm going to read to you from Aesop's Fables. So Aesop was this man from really super long ago, and he used to write and tell stories about animals. But there was actually, these animal stories were actually lessons for people. So even though it's animal stories, it's meant for people. Okay, so we have three short stories today, and they come from this book called Mostly Magic. And this is one of the books that I used to read when I was growing up, and that my parents read to me when I was growing up, and that I read to my kids. And so now we're reading them to you to keep passing them along. Okay, so let's get to the stories. All right. So they start on page 285. Wow, that's way in the back. Okay. There we go. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. So this one is called The Lion and the Mouse. And can you see the lesson here? This is the lesson. A kindness is never wasted. So it's an animal story that teaches people lessons. Okay, here we go. The Lion and the Mouse. A lion lay asleep in the forest, his great head resting on his paws. And a timid little mouse came upon him unexpectedly. And in her fright and haste to get away, she ran across the lion's nose. Roused from his nap, the lion laid his huge paw angrily on the tiny creature to kill her. "Spare me," begged the poor mouse. "Please let me go, and someday I will surely repay you." The lion was much amused to think that a mouse could ever help him. But he was generous, and he finally let the mouse go. Some days later, while stalking his prey in the forest, the lion was caught in the toils of a hunter's net. Unable to free himself, he filled the forest with his angry roaring. The mouse knew the voice and quickly found the lion struggling in the net. Running to one of the great ropes that bound him, she gnawed it until it parted, and soon the lion was free. "You laughed when I said I would repay you," said the mouse. "Now you see that even a mouse can help a lion." And that's the lesson. Okay, should we go to the next one? Oh, this is a good one too. And I should tell you, so even though these stories were written by Aesop, they were illustrated by a man named Boris Artzibashev. There you go. How's that? All right, next story. This one is interesting and one of my favorites. Okay, this one is called The North Wind and the Sun. Whoops. There we go. I can't see what I'm doing. There's the picture. Okay, so this is the north wind, and there's the sun. And the lesson is gentleness and kind persuasion win. Force and bluster fail. Okay, the north wind and the sun. The north wind and the sun had a quarrel about which of them was the stronger. While they were disputing with much heat and bluster, a traveler passed along the road, wrapped in a cloak. "Let us agree," said the sun, "that he is the stronger who can strip that traveler of his cloak." "Very well," growled the north wind, and at once sent a cold, howling blast against the traveler. With the first gust of wind, the ends of the cloak whipped about the traveler's body. but he immediately wrapped it closely around him, and the harder the wind blew, the tighter he held it to him. The north wind tore angrily at the cloak, but all his efforts were in vain. Then the sun began to shine. At first, his beams were gentle, and in the pleasant warmth, after the bitter cold of the north wind, the traveler unfastened his cloak and let it hang loosely from his shoulders. The sun's rays grew warmer and warmer. The man took off his cap and mopped his brow. At last he became so heated that he pulled off his cloak, and, to escape the blazing sunshine, threw himself down in the welcome shade of a tree by the roadside. So the lesson is that gentleness and kind persuasion win, like the sun being nice, and force and bluster fail, like that wind trying to force him to take his coat off. That didn't work. Okay, we have one more. Which one do you think it is? Do you know? It's about two animals. I bet you can guess. It's the hare and the tortoise. See, there's the hare, which is just another name for a rabbit, and there's the tortoise. And the lesson, the race, is not always to the swift, which means the fast guy doesn't always win. Okay, here we go. The tortoise. Oh, it's the hare and the tortoise. A hare was making fun of the tortoise one day for being so slow. "Do you ever get anywhere?" he asked with a mocking laugh. "Yes," replied the tortoise, "and I get there sooner than you think. I'll run you a race and prove it." The hare was much amused at the idea of running a race with a tortoise, but for the fun of the thing, he agreed. So the fox, the fox who had consented to act as a judge, marked the distance and started the runners off. The hare was soon far out of sight, and to make the tortoise feel very deeply how ridiculous it was for him to try to race with a hare, he lay down beside the course to take a nap until the tortoise should catch up. That's the picture. See, he's taking a nap while the tortoise is trudging along. The tortoise, meanwhile, kept going slowly but steadily, and after a time passed the place where the hare was sleeping. But the hare slept on very peacefully, and when at last he did wake up, the tortoise was near the goal. The hare now ran his swiftest, but he could not overtake the tortoise in time. So the tortoise won that race. So the lesson is the race is not always to the swift. The fast guy doesn't always win. Okay, that was our 3 Aesop's Fables, and those ones were especially for Sydney and Emery. And I hope you guys had fun, and I'm going to keep recording more. So if you have any special ones you want me to read, let me know, and I can read them for you. Okay, have fun. Love you guys. Bye-bye.